Good morning, lifters. Welcome back to Lifting Jelly. I was supposed to be making a post over the weekend to post on Monday about my progress from my weight cut that I was doing for my meet that I have this weekend. And as it turns out, unfortunately, due to, I can't say unforeseen circumstances, but due to a reoccurring injury that I thought would be tamed by now, I am out of my competition. Today's video, I'm going to talk about the progress that I did make on my cut, and I'm also going to be talking about injury. As far as my weight cut went, by Friday of last week, I weighed at about 163. I started at 168, so I was able to drop 5 pounds in a week, which was awesome, and that was kind of my goal there. And I just had to drop 6 more because I had to weigh in at 156 by my meet. So I was well on my way. I was doing very well with the weight cut. Eliminating that last meal out of my daily, meals definitely helped a lot. And then I was doing CrossFit. And anytime I do CrossFit consistently, the weight comes off. So I was doing well. I had a great routine going. I went to the beach. We had a beach day at the gym. And I just binged, and I definitely gained back like 3 pounds of what I lost, which was unfortunate, but I was determined to lose the weight and, still make my weight by the time of my meet. Unfortunately, I went to the doctor on Monday because my shoulder was just crappy as hell, and it's my right shoulder. And so I went to the doctor. I let him know, hey, my injury's back. This time it didn't go away in a couple weeks. It's been about 4 weeks now, and my shoulder still hurts. And so he sent me over to get an x-ray done, which I go back to see him next week for the results of that. He told me, no heavy lifting. The numbers that you're putting overhead are really heavy for you. You need to cut that out for now until we figure out what's wrong with you. And so I can't do any overhead. I can still snatch. I can strict press. It's not too much high impact on my shoulder, but as far as jerking goes, I feel discomfort at 85 pounds, So I know that it's something deeper this time. The injury is probably more severe. And for that reason, I had to email the lady from the meet this weekend and let her know that I can't do it. And this is the first time I've ever had to step away from a competition, which it just bugs me to death. But in my heart, I feel like it's the right thing to do. So it's super discouraging, when you're training really hard, you're over here cutting weight, you're trying to work around the injury. Before, when I've had this injury, it's always been a reoccurring pain in my rotator cuff area, the internal part, and I would just have to step away from any overhead lifts for a week or 2 weeks at most. This time around, like I said, it's been going on 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. I still get pain with any type of heavy, whether it's a push press, whether it's a jerk, any type of heavy overhead movement besides the snatch, I can't do. But it's strange because I can still do all my CrossFit movements. Dumbbells are okay. I can still do pull-ups, push-ups. That doesn't irritate it at all. So it's so frustrating for me to be a weightlifter and not be able to jerk. If I could just do one lift and just snatch, I'd be fine. But because I have to clean and jerk as well, I can't jerk. And it's been really difficult for me because I was training to put up bigger numbers in my last 2 meets. I have been training to progress in my weightlifting career. I launched Lifting Jelly. I want to be able to post, more videos of me working out and talking about my experiences. And I'm stuck, with this temporary handicap, if you will. And so it's been very hard and frustrating. And I talked to my coach, and I feel like such a weak link right now. I don't really know what to do until I figure out what's going on. And my one fear is that I'm going to have to need surgery, or that I'm going to have to stop weightlifting, which ultimately I don't want to do because I just started. I'm in the very beginning stages, and I have so much ahead of me that I want to accomplish in this sport. So I'm sure everyone else has had, some type of injury. Apparently it's very common for weightlifters to have issues with their rotator cuff or with their shoulders. Doing a lot heavy loads and doing high volume and things overhead of such, it's kind of, daunting on the shoulder, on the shoulder and on the body. And if you're not recovering properly and taking care of yourself, of course injuries can occur. And I honestly feel that my shoulder flared up because I haven't been taking the best care of myself. I don't really stretch before or after I lift. I don't take the proper time to recover after a workout. I think sometimes the days where I'm doing heavy lifting and doing CrossFit all in one, it's a lot on my body. I'm getting older too. I'm going to be 25 this year, and so I really need to kind of step back and learn to take care of my body again. And like I said, my number one fear with this is that I'm going to need surgery on my shoulder, which I just want to cry thinking about it. For anybody that's new out there is a difference, and they teach you this when I did my level 1, and if you have a great coach, they should be teaching you this as well. You should know the difference between soreness and between what pain really is, like what an injury could be. If your body's tight, you do a workout, the next day you wake up, your body's tight, or it's tight in a certain area, or it feels like it needs to pop, or it's not so much like a sharp shooting pain, it's just more like soreness, or just like, it needs to be rolled out, or it just needs to be stretched. You're sore. That's not an injury. It may be uncomfortable for you, but it's not an injury. You'll know an injury when you feel that sharp shooting pain going in a certain area of your body, and it almost just stops you dead in your tracks. That is an injury, or that is something that you need to go to the doctor and see. And that's what I've been experiencing for the past 4 to 5 weeks. In the past, it's been the same issue, but I would rest it for anywhere from 3 days to 7 days, and it would be fine. I would go back to jerking and doing everything else. And this time around, because it's been more than 2 weeks, I knew that it's probably something more serious at this point, and I finally made the choice to go to my doctor and get it checked out. So I will be returning to him next week to see the results of my x-ray and see if we need to get an MRI next, which I'm hoping so, because I feel like the x-ray won't show much. In the meantime, I am still training, so I'm not all the way listening to my doctor, but I'm definitely not going overhead with jerks or push presses. Like anytime I do feel discomfort, I stop immediately and I don't do that movement. I just let my coach know, like, this hurts, I can't do it. Another thing is I am training around my injury, but I'm doing it safely, and I'm doing movements that don't cause any discomfort to my shoulder, if that makes sense. So for example, like I'm still doing CrossFit. That doesn't aggravate my shoulder at all. This pushing and pulling don't hurt my shoulder. It's overhead, and I think the amount of weight when I'm catching a jerk, that pressure just builds on my shoulder and it just causes that pain. So I'm doing, movements, and I'm still lifting. I can still snatch up to 90%. It's just the jerking at the end of the day. And so, I'm kind of able to know what movements I can and can't do, and I stay away from them completely. So you need to know when to back off. Listen to your coach, talk to your coach, see what you're allowed to do and what not. Same thing with your doctor. Listen to your doctor as much as possible. I'm kind of doing that, but I know my body, and that's something you need to do too, is know your body. So that's why I say know the difference between, some soreness, and know the difference between an actual injury or actual pain. And that's going to help you a lot. But don't get discouraged like I did. Find ways to still do what you need to do. If you have some type of upper body injury, guess what? You're doing legs for a while now, or you're doing any type of upper body movement that doesn't aggravate your injured area. You just have to take it with a grain of salt. You just have to take care of your body, know that you will get over this, and stay focused on your goal, and you'll be fine. If you have any help on rotator cuff issues, I don't know if it's tendonitis, I don't know if it's an impingement, I'm not sure, but it's in this area, and I know it's very common for lifters. So if you have any, type of like physical therapy stuff that I could do, or any tips on how to ease that pain and discomfort in the meantime, please let me know, because I've been looking up videos and on Instagram and on YouTube, and I cannot find nothing. So if you guys could help assist out, I would greatly appreciate it. But I'm just learning to stay positive. I'm training, as much as I can without making this area worse, and I am taking better care of myself. I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully, you know, my shoulder will be okay, and when I sign up for my next meet, I will definitely do a better job of showing you guys my weight cut progress. See you guys later.